Well, hi, everybody, and welcome back to the Galactic Astrology Podcast. My name is Ursula, and I'm joined by the podcast co-host, Julia Balaz. And Julia, as many of us know, is the creator and founder of the Quantum Soul Guidance Practitioner certification course. And so today we're gathered to celebrate the recent graduation of Josh Little. And Josh, Julia and I both just want to say congratulations, congratulations. Well done.
And welcome.
Thank you. Yeah, no, it's so good to be here. And yeah, I've been manifesting this moment for a while now. Probably before I even started the course, I was always envisioning talking to you and making this happen. So I'm really grateful that I'm finally here.
That's so great to hear. Do I remember correctly that you started with the course, then you paused a little bit, and then you came back and went through the finish line?
Yeah, that's totally correct.
I'm bringing it up because I'm aware there are many course members who seem to be going through that journey where they hit a point where they have to really remove themselves from it a little bit, go on quite a journey of transformation or whatever else is there that's needed for them, and then once that is completed, then they feel guided to come back to the course, and quite quickly then they go through the certification process, or at least heading there. So was that for you also?
Yeah, completely. I think this course just opens up so much opportunity for awakening and evolution. And I think sometimes when we go through awakening in a very condensed manner, it can be a little cause instability. So yeah, I think I just kind of had to take a step out of things, take a step out of the beautiful community, but it is so filled with light and it's so charged. And it causes so much awakening just being in this space. And I just needed to ground and ground all the knowledge, all the learning, and just kind of get into the body, everything that I'd learned through the course. And then I picked it back up, and I think within about a week I was feeling ready to complete the course and get my practice sessions in. And yeah, it's been an amazing journey, and I think it's just going to be unique for everyone based on where they're at on their journey.
Speaking of journeys, it's fascinating to hear this idea that when we track the astrological planets and now the divine stars, there are these moments with transits where we're asked to pause. So our egos and minds sometimes say, come on, finish the race, quick, quick. And yet there are these necessary pauses in nature and the cosmos that say, no, time to integrate, time to pause without judgment. And one of the beautiful things about Julia's course offerings is that there is no time limit. This is available for you, and it's a living Aquarian type of model, because more is being added as we grow together in this incredible soul family. And I just want to shout out for the global, network that I'm calling in from California. Julia is based in Ireland, and Josh, you're currently in the United Kingdom in Manchester. So I just love that when a soul family and networking and the timing allow for this synchronistic kind of gathering moments. And so today, May of 2023, we're getting to celebrate just a moment. So graduation is really about the next level, but then there's always more. And so learning about your story, Josh, from the past, like how was it that you came upon this spiritual path, like as a young person? And then what also led you to meeting Julia through the social networks?
I was born into a Christian family with a father who was a Pentecostal pastor. So it was a big part of my life, and my relationship with Jesus started very early on. Obviously through more of a a limited kind of lens, I would say, but still very beneficial in many other ways as well. So yeah, I always had this connection to Jesus Christ, to Christ consciousness. Felt very resonant with that space, with that expression. And I think it was probably not until my mid-20s when I started to kind of awaken to other, I don't know, other avenues of spirituality. I've been practicing yoga since I was about 21. And when I was 26, I studied to be a yoga teacher. And an NLP practitioner, and kind of opened myself up to tarot and other forms of spirituality, kind of really delving into the self-development world and reading different books, and started working with different coaches and just searching for more of me. And professionally throughout this, I trained as an actor and a singer when I was 18 years old at a drama school in Guildford, just outside of London, and worked as an actor and singer for for years, really, up until 2020. And just kind of gradually moving towards integrating more of my higher consciousness throughout my mid to late 20s into my early 30s. And yeah, learning the Akashic records in 2020 kind of really opened up a lot for me. And I was actually in Ireland at the time, on the West Coast, and I was living in my ancestors' home that they built, and doing a lot of ancestral kind of karma clearing, and also at the same time integrating more of me on a bodily level, because up to that point, I think I was still in the matrix, and so it's kind of been this journey of just expanding and learning more about who I am through the Akashic records, and another modality called spiritual response therapy, which is researching and clearing the Akashic records as well. So they've been really beneficial to me opening up to the galactic. And it's interesting because the first galactic kind of connection that I had was with the Pleiades, but it's nowhere in my charts. And I've heard you say this before, Julia, that other people find that as well, but I think I just felt a real strong support from that star system. And like they had my back, these kind of Pleiadians. Maybe they were in a starship above where I was living at the time. So I think it was 2022 in September that I signed up for the course. I've been wanting to sign up for the course probably a few months before, but I just didn't feel like it was time. Yeah, then I signed up for the course. I've been going through it, learning so much, integrating so much of who I am, understanding myself on a much deeper level. And yeah, and here I am now.
Amazing. There's so many different avenues I can go just looking at your chart and listening to your story. First of all, I want to highlight you're, again, just another validation of someone who felt deep connection with Jesus Christ from early on. Everyone I've met who would testify this, they all have the Fomalhaut royal star prominent in their chart, which you do, opposing your south node, conjuncting your north node, or is it the other way around? I'm gonna double check. Then there's connection to Sirius. You have both A and B. You have Aldebaran there. And there's also Serma, star in Virgo constellation, in conjunction to your ascendant, which is also conjunct to Shapley Attractor. So Serma, Fomalhaut, and Sirius, and also Vega. You have conjunct Vega, your sun. My goodness, it's I've always been saying that it seems to be a combination of multiple star system, that when they're there together, that the stories or somehow life guides us to connect with the Christ consciousness. Or for other cultures, it's a connection to Buddha, or other ascended masters that carried the frequency of unconditional love and empowerment for humanity. So it's so beautiful to see that there. I want to ask you, Josh, you have very strong stellium in Capricorn. So stellium, for any newbies to astrology, is when you have at least three planets in same zodiac sign, and you have 5, I believe. So your Neptune is in Capricorn, Uranus also, Saturn, and your Sun and Moon. So kind of spreading across third, second house. So with Capricorn energy, it's very kind of goal-oriented and having a deep desire to be of service, and whatever you do has to have a meaning for others or for the world. And also with your South Node in Virgo in 10th house, which is ruled or associated with Capricorn, you must have very high standards, I presume, for yourself. And I could see it, I mean, through your reports in terms of visual impact, the structure, the level of practical guidance, personal touch, above and beyond, additional information. It was really impressive style of delivery of your written reports. Do you find that trend of strong Capricornian nature there with you throughout your life? Like, I mean, just the amount of healing modalities that you have under your belt in such a short amount of time would kind of testify to that too.
I wouldn't have resonated with Capricorn so much in certain ways. I think once I found my passion and my soul's desire and purpose, it was just like, boom, here I am, and I am going into these modalities, and I'm getting the richness out of everything, and I'm going to learn the whole breadth, and absolutely, and just kind of really grounding it all and becoming it and embodying it as well, which has been a big part of my journey over the last few years. It has been really difficult being in the body as well, because something that I learned doing this course, like one of the first things that I learned was my soul origin is a founder, or one of the soul origins. So, and it's kind of like this part of me that was a group consciousness founding certain soul groups, actually. And it's kind of like a father, a divine father aspect of my soul consciousness. And I took on a lot of responsibility to look after all of these souls. 3 soul families specifically, along with other kind of souls who are part of this group consciousness. And this was in another universe. So, you know, throughout my life, I've really struggled to take responsibility for myself, because I felt so much responsibility for everyone else, especially all of these souls, which a lot of them have incarnated through my ancestral line. So I've been clearing a lot of their karma for them, but it got to the point where all these contracts that I set up for myself to clear for them were causing a big dysfunction in my life. And of course, there's a lot of wisdom to come from it, and there's been a lot of growth for me. And of course, I have come into a much higher integrity, but I had to kind of start replacing the nature of these contracts. So instead of allowing a codependence on me to take responsibility for other people, because this is a thing about the heliocentric chart. I've got Cancer in my Earth and Moon within the heliocentric chart, which is from the sun's perspective. So you've got these 2 different kind of aspects of me, where you've got the Cancer codependent, and you've got the Capricorn responsibility, mother and father, kind of taking on far too much responsibility. And I just had to start giving the responsibility back to all of these souls to go on their own journey, and, you know, and kind of go, right, if I step into my power to be able to help people, and support people in the best ways possible through various modalities, and making myself kind of versatile and applicable to as many people that I can help, then you know, I can take that responsibility off myself, and live a more balanced and fulfilled life. So yeah, that's been one of the main things through this course that I've learned, because I'd never come across the whole blueprinter, founder kind of idea of consciousness. And obviously reading about the Prism of Lyra as well. Lisa Royal Holt's work has really enlightened that aspect of my consciousness, so I can be human and I can enjoy life here in this body on earth without taking too much responsibility. Yeah.
I just want to bring, I think it's so interesting that your Chiron is in early Cancer in the 8th house. 8th house is connected to other people's values, everything that's hidden, deep, suppressed trauma. So, and your Chiron, the wounded healer, was opposing that powerful stellium in Capricorn. And I think another factor as well to your journey, as you explained it, is your Jupiter in the 7th house conjunct Algol, which is considered one of the most unfortunate stars. But I would like to bring some light to this star. First of all, kind of seeing it in the house of relationships, quite strong and active there through Jupiter, and having that powerful Capricorn stellium on the opposing end to it, in addition of Chiron and Cancer in the 8th house. Like these things kind of played together, whereas Algol and also Hydra Alphard star is squaring your Jupiter in the 7th house, and Hadar Beta Centauri star is opposing your Jupiter. So all these three kind of have the frequency of challenging relationships experience, and that game of being lost in other people's needs, wishes and desires, and your own, and kind of being too compassionate, too giving, or expecting the unconditional love because that's who you are, that's what you emanate. So it's really learning the hard way. But the Chiron and Cancer in the 8th house, through that experience, then makes you an extraordinary healer once you got to the point where you understand the importance of energetic boundaries, kind of just greater sovereignty and self-empowerment, where you come from the wholeness rather than neediness. Then it's a whole different ball game. So it's wonderful to see you going through such extraordinary and difficult journey at such an early age, and that you arrived here at this point. So
thanks for seeing me. And it's so brilliant how this chart really just makes sense of my life. And I think being lost in other people's energy, it's been really difficult to find myself on this journey, you know. So coming across this modality where astrology gives you such a kind of a blueprint to who you are as a soul, and then with the kind of the deeper subtleties of the galactics kind of in there as well, it's just brought so much richness and wholeness to me for being so lost in life. And, you know, kind of, if you've heard of soul shifting, kind of going through that kind of experience where I had other souls kind of trying to take over my body, and, you know, so having to really find myself and stay strong and grounded in who I am has been a big part of the journey. So it has been really difficult, and you can see in my chart there's a lot of squaring aspects as well. So there's just been, you know, loads of challenges which have offered great strength. You know, the strength of spirit that I've gained from this incarnation is just, you know, it's incredible. And to find gratitude for all of these challenges, and, you know, let's come back to conjunct Algol in Perseus, to see all of the beautiful light from the darkness and the shadow experiences, and to gain the wisdom of the silver linings for every challenge that I've ever had, and allowing it to be transmuted and transformed into its light. Because no matter what you're going through or where your soul is at, there is light to be found, you know. Even the more negative souls that are within this universe, I truly believe that they will find their way to the light at some point. And I truly believe that there is a completion in this one universe where we will all get to that place. And I think that that has been done in many other universes. So there's just great hope. And there's always so much gold to come out of the lead. And as you go on that alchemical journey, just trust that there's a lot of magic that comes your way. Yeah.
Oh, this conversation is really quite uplifting. Josh, the son of a Pentecostal preacher, you've come a long way in this ability to speak truth to what you've experienced, what you've found. I mean, you've looked at so many various spiritual modalities to help inform you of who am I, truly who am I, not what my parents or perhaps the imprint of religion, which for me, I look at that as a wonderful spiritual rudder, and it's good to like then springboard off. But the son of a preacher, here you go. I mean, it's quite extraordinary. And I would just make a comment about that love and connection with the Pleiades. On a DNA level, the star mothers from the Pleiades, helped stay behind and support our evolution for this human beingness. So there's always that connection. And then you mentioned Lisa Royal Holt, her focus on the Lyrans coming and seeding and being Earth Lyrans, who then became Pleiadians later, a certain portion of them. So learning the galactic heritage and the stories of the stars, for me, I'm just witnessing you sharing this broader sense of the who I am-ness. It gives kind of like this architecture for, and then there's more. So Julia's talking about these super cosmic points of the galactic center and beyond. It's like it gives us a vocabulary and a way to understand the broader stories. I mean, certainly growing up, understanding the stories of Christ and religion and how that informed, but then there were so many more books and so many more ways to understand oneself. So I want to thank you and then bring us now into present time, where you basically have a quote that says, I love to play, learn, and discover in the field of consciousness. So holding that thought about loving to play, learn, and discover, let's go ahead and look at this beautiful, here's your landing page. So it says galactic astrology and spiritual support. Josh, can you tell us a little bit about this? Is it a relatively new website that you've created?
Oh yeah. I created it a couple of weeks ago as I certified. So it's fresh, it's new, it's coming from where I'm at right now, and it feels good. Yeah.
May I just point out that your Venus is conjunct the galactic center, and it I believe Venus is your strongest planet. It just gives such a beautiful manifestation here of how you can just naturally, effortlessly channel uplifting source kind of consciousness, bring solutions, and make it also visually really appealing. Perfect.
Yeah.
Venus in galactic center. I'm looking at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're seeing your Capricornian capabilities when it's time step by step to build the structure. And in Julia's course, there is a part where she teaches us how to set up a small business, so that you've just created this post certification. I think it's wonderful. You're offering soul frequency and expression, soul origin and galactic journey, and then even soul service with karma Dhamma or karma dharma. Something like that.
Josh, did you realize that black is the color of Capricorn?
I've always, I think brown as well.
There's several.
Brown as well.
Yeah,
black is strong too.
Yeah, black is strong for Capricorn.
Look at this gorgeous man. Look at this high, beautiful soul. So you're bringing all of your talents of acting. We'd love to hear some singing, this idea of attunement and vibrational alignment. You can find Josh on Ascend Net. And there's this great place to learn a little bit more about Josh.
So awakenandascend.net.
And I just want to explain as well, there are 3 different written reports that I offer. I only offer written reports with QSG. That's just what I'm guided to do. And with the written reports as well, I do Akashic clearing. So when I write the reports, when there are blocks to the activation and the manifestation of whatever it is that your guides and the Akashic records are trying to transmit to you, I clear those out of the way through a modality called spiritual response therapy as well. So yeah, that's just how I'm kind of working. And the 3 different reports, the first one is mainly based around your soul frequency and expression, your soul color, your sun, moon, ascendant, Mercury. We go into like a little bit around relationships as well, and just any kind of messages that want to come from your spirit guides. The next one is Soul Origin and Universal Journey Galactic Astrology reading, which talks about your soul origin. Sometimes there are more than one that I find. Sometimes we can have a soul origin from this galaxy, but we can also carry in certain energies from other galaxies and universes as well. So I kind of expand on that, and I talk about where we first fragmented from source. Then I go on the soul evolution journey, the north, the south nodes, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and kind of expand on like the kind of the mid part and the kind of the depth of our soul journey. Obviously talking about Pluto, Uranus, and Neptune within soul origin aspect as well. So again, this is a really rich report. It's usually around kind of 15 pages long. But I just love, like, honestly, Julia, I just want to say I've never enjoyed work so much as, you know, being a Capricorn with all this Capricornian energy. Like, work is so important to me, and I just love doing this work. It just gives to me as much as I feel like it's giving to other people. And yeah, since I've certified, you know, at the start of this month, it's been really great, and I've had lots of positive feedback, and there's been some positive movement in people's lives as well, within the areas that they're intentional about looking into. The third report is called Soul Service and Karma Dharma, or Soul Service and Unresolved Karma. So basically, from our deep karma experience, is always a dharma, is always like a service from the depths of our soul, and our soul challenges that we go through. So this report talks about the Chiron, the Lilith, the Saturn, the Point of Fortune, and Chiron, did I mention? And the Vertex as well. So it really Vertex, yeah. So it goes into some of our deeper challenges and the real gold that can come from those, and how it might therefore influence how we end up being of soul service on this earth. So yeah, I've done a couple of those reports so far. They're usually for older people. I did one for someone going through their third nodal return. So it really resonated for them, as they were going into kind of a depth of destiny calling. And another person, again, like 40s, just kind of like really getting to that place where they're ready to really to bring what their soul challenges want to bring, the gold that wants to come from them. So yeah, I just find that there is such richness, there's such variety within astrology, and I wanted to make sure that it wasn't too much all at once for people. So yeah, I've split it up into 3, and I just trust that the universe will bring people to the right report and reading at the right time for them. And one other thing, I'm always so intentional with my work, but I always kind of serve the intention of the person coming for the reading as well, and what they want to achieve from the report. So yeah, I just really encourage, if you ever choose to have a reading by me, come with a real strong intention.
It was you know, I could feel all that care and high level of quality and professionalism, but it was also very personalized, and you added new information for each client based on their actual needs and interests. So it was beautiful to see that. I just want to bring in vertex because it's not much talked about, and people often email me about, you know, what is vertex? What does that mean? I just want to highlight this today because it's so fitting. So your vertex is in Gemini in the 8th house. It's conjunct star in the Hades, conjunct star, well, Aldebaran or Aldebaran, differently pronounced, and Antares. And so vertex, I would describe it or explain it as a point of destiny. When we have planets transiting the vertex point, usually something exceptional happens in our life that propels us to the next level of our evolution. It's like we take big leaps. And usually it's people or situations that will have the frequency of the zodiac sign or the house area or the fixed stars that are aligned to vertex. So I think it's so interesting that we are meeting today, and Ursula has a strong Hadean stars in her chart. I have very strong Aldebaran and Antares in my chart, and that's your point of vertex. So we are sitting on your destiny point with our strong fixed stars frequency. I just think it's just such a nice fated experience and validation that this is meant to be for you, and we're the gatekeepers to usher you into your next stage of service. So congratulations for being aligned perfectly.
Very exciting.
Yeah.
Oh, it feels so good to just be with you. I'm so grateful, and absolutely, it's totally fated. Yeah, amazing. So good to be with you.
I do have a little message for you. You've been gifted with such a beautiful voice and an ability to act, and through the eyes, your eyes. I just want to give you this message. When you are ready, when you meet someone in Zoom, let's say, and you give a reading eye to eye, there is this, what I'm feeling from you is this even deeper and richer experience. And they're pointing us back to your training. So when you are ready and when you see your vertex is being asked to go to the next level, certainly starting with written reports is wonderful, but you, my friend, have been gifted with so many rich talents. They're saying the tone of your voice, even as you give readings, it is this deeper kind of magic that happens that goes actually deeper for potential clients. So the rest of us will be waiting for the next version of Josh sharing more of himself in readings beyond the written and into the idea of this connector. I mean, you brought up the founders and the blueprinters, and I'm just feeling from you this magic that happens. And it's like, I mean, Julia, would you agree? I mean, I'm nudging him.
I'm sure it's coming,
Oh,
but no pressure. Yeah.
yeah. I do offer sound healing with my voice. So in the part on my website where it says ascension, because obviously the awakening is so important, but you know, the ascension part, the embodied ascension, is equally important. So I do Reiki channeling and with sound healing of my voice, and I sing over people and really send powerful vibrations through them. I also do spiritual response therapy to clear out their Akashic record and to just bring them into alignment. And then I do integrative spiritual healing, which is kind of bringing everything together and just making a really beautiful, intuitive session with someone. And I do bring in, you know, the Akashic records. I bring in the galactic astrology chart to kind of make it an immersive session. But I just think with this modality, there is so much detail and richness that I want to do it justice. And I want to spend 4 or 5 hours writing these reports that people can take with them. And I totally get where you're coming from, Ursula. But yeah, Oh, I'll get there. I'll figure
When
it
it's
out.
time, when
You
it's
know
time,
what?
meeting you.
Yeah. And well done, Ursula, for totally sensing that and knowing that it's there, perhaps, without realizing that it's on his website and offered as a service. But this, to me, speaks volumes of a potential for a long-term client session. I believe there are like these packages where you book for a year-long mentorship, and you take them through all these different gifts and richness of modalities that you can offer. And as you get to really tune into your clients so deeply and profoundly, like it can be truly, complete life-changing experiences by the time you're finished with them as a mentor, maybe for 3 months or 6 months, 9 months, maybe something like that, because there's just so much
So
you can offer. Yeah. Yay.
Yeah, that's going to be the next thing that comes on my website. You'll see it in a few months' time, adventure, it'll say. And that's when we kind of go on an adventure together and we go through a container and I take people on that journey. But,
Beautiful.
I just
One step at a
trust
time.
my heart. I trust divine timing. And now is not the time, but it will be. And thank you for speaking that, Ursula, because it will activate that, it's so perfect. Yeah.
Well, you're welcome. And speaking of the future, do you happen to have a message either to future clients or our classmates who are still working on their certification, Josh?
I think grounding everything into the body, just making sure that you're connected, because it's so expansive and universal and it's so up in the higher chakras. I think it's really, it wants to be brought into the body. It wants to, all this consciousness, all this knowledge, understanding, wisdom, all the information. It's like it wants to become part of the DNA of us in order for us to like flow with these messages that that want to activate to people. So I think the more embodiment work that you can do, the more grounding that you can do throughout this process, I think the quicker that things will move for you and the less stuck you'll be, because I found I was a little stuck at times and all I needed to do was just get real deep into my body. And yeah, that's my
Perfect.
message.
Can't be emphasized enough. So thank you for bringing that in. So excited for you and the journey that you're on. I'm so deeply grateful for you being part of our community and look forward to staying connected and see you grow and shine brightly and beautifully as you are. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. It's just been an honor and a pleasure. And like I said, I've been imagining this conversation happening. And I think that as well might be a good message for people. It's, manifest this conversation through imagining and talking to both of you. The amount of conversations I've already had with you both is, and the amount of times I've done this in order to create the momentum and the manifestation of it. So I just love this work. I can't emphasize enough, Julia, how amazing this course is, how rich it is, how much it's already, changing so many lives, changing the collective consciousness of Earth. I can't wait until this kind of stuff becomes mainstream, because it will do. And it's just so exciting to be part of the start of something that's just gonna expand and become huge. It's a real honor. So thank you.
Congratulations, Josh. We really celebrate you, and we are looking forward to more and more learning about your stories and the sessions that are going to be coming forward. And I can't help but hear this idea of, Josh, consider audiobooks in your reports. There's something in your voice that is wanting it, because people will read, but when they hear your voice, I'm sorry for keep coming at you with this, but it is remarkable how there's a particular color of your voice that will actually give people an enhanced experience. And it's not about toning so much as you speaking to them from your heart and them learning their heart song. I mean, that's what's really coming through to me is your sessions will allow people to not only know who they are, but give them a chance to sing into being who they are in this moment. So thank you, dear one. It's just a treat to get to meet you all the way in the United Kingdom with Julia in Ireland.
Much love. See you again soon.
Thank you.
Bye for now.
Ha ha ha!